Hi, I'm Kollin Stagnito, and today I'm joined by Eric Barfield, the president of Assured Partners Aerospace. A couple of months ago, Global Aerospace announced a new insurance product for senior pilots, and Assured Partners Aerospace, as an AOPA strategic partner, is working with senior pilots
That's
to
right.
help them get this insurance.
That's right.
Eric, I'd love to talk to you today about what you're seeing in the last couple of months and what the experience has been for you and for pilots who are looking for liability-only insurance in the age range of 70 plus.
AOPA keeps flying safe, accessible, and fun by protecting your freedom to fly. We are the most trusted one-stop resource for all things related to general aviation. Become an AOPA pilot today.
Beginning in 2019, the aviation insurance landscape changed. We went into what we call a hard market, and it became hard for everybody to get insurance at a reasonable price. Our senior pilots felt that especially so. Thankfully, this year, 2024, we're on the cusp of a market where things are stabilizing. Rates are not going up quite as much, and you do have insurance companies like Global Aerospace who has come up with products that are trying to be creative to bring other solutions to insurability for senior pilots. So with Global Aerospace specifically, they have a program now that has different funnels and different pathways for insurability, including a pathway that if you just need liability only insurance, at least there's an option for you for liability only. Candidly, we as an industry didn't have that option last year this time. In conjunction with Global Aerospace's offering, there have been other insurance companies out there that are now looking and re-looking at senior pilots and trying to find paths of insurability for those senior pilots into the future. Senior pilots has been an issue for aviation insurance way back in 1993 when I started in the business. It's an issue today, and it will be an issue, I suppose, in 20 years from now. So it's an issue that's not going away. And so it's very important that the insurance underwriting community, of which we represent as brokers, make sure that they're having a pathway to insurability for their senior pilots.
So our members have been telling us over the last couple of years that aircraft insurance has been getting more and more expensive every year. What are some of the factors that are driving that?
Now, great question. So the aviation insurance community for about 10 years, from roughly about 2008 up until about 2018, was in what we call a soft market. And effectively, the short story is they were losing money. And as they started to lose money and also the cost to repair airplanes goes up, inflation goes up, social inflation, which means on the liability side, maybe you routinely paid out $1 million for a fatality, and now today we're paying maybe $5 million out for a fatality. That's a significant increase in costs, often attributed to social inflation. So while their premiums were very stagnated, their costs were increasing. And in a very small marketplace like aviation insurance, when you have 2 or 3 companies decide that they want to withdraw from the marketplace, that can quickly shift the needle. And that's what we saw happen in 2019. So it wasn't just the light aircraft that was affected, it was all segments of aviation that were affected. 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, it just started to get a little bit better. But then early this year, 2024, we started to see it plateau almost for all segments, including the light aircraft segment of this year. So why did it plateau? Well, because the insurance companies found a path to profitability for themselves. That's one factor. The other factor is seeing some profitability, you have other carriers now going, hey, I think we want to jump in the aviation insurance space. So we've had no less than 4 insurance companies effectively in the last 24 months decide to get into the aviation insurance space. So now we've brought that capacity back up, and a great way to compete when you have capacity is to stabilize the prices and the premiums. So that's what we're starting to see now.
Do you think there's any chance that competition could lower prices?
I think in some segments, we are actually seeing some premium decreases. We are. And as we go into 2025, we in fact think that we could probably continue to see some decreases in some segments of the marketplace, including light aircraft.
Can you explain, from your perspective, why have senior pilots had a challenge getting insurance, and how does the liability-only option provide options. What are those options? How does that make them more insurable?
So the liability only option, if you look at the airplanes that are out there, the inflation has hit us all, including the cost to repair aircraft. So some statistics will tell you that the price for a simple, straightforward prop strike today to repair that is 40% higher than it was pre-pandemic. So the cost of claims, and most claims, end up being hull claims. So the cost of repairing that hull damage has gone up and up and up in recent years, just like the cost of running through the McDonald's drive-through has gone up and up in recent years. So to be able to provide liability only, it's more like, well, 1 in 20 claims is going to be a liability claim. I'm making that up. But 1 in 20 is going to be a liability claim. So if all we're offering is liability, that is actually going to help take the volatility out of our portfolio. By that I mean the claims that they might have to pay. So that is something that opens up that pathway of insurability for senior pilots. Because underwriters typically are a little bit more reluctant with putting out their capacity for senior pilots, even very young pilots with very low experience. So it actually is a bad thing at both ends of the spectrums in terms of insurability. That's why liability only, these other options that the carriers are providing, are opening up those pathways for insurability and making it a little bit more palatable, although it's not solving the solution 100%.
So can you give us just a brief case study, 2 different case studies. One case study where a senior pilot was able to get the liability only insurance, and one case where they were not, and what made the difference?
So type of aircraft makes the difference. So even on the liability only option, a pilot, and I'm going to use an arbitrary example, an 80-year-old pilot flying a Cessna 414, that liability only option or any of those options, that's going to be very tough to come by. 80-year-old pilot in a Cessna 182, however, that pathway of insurability that I keep talking about has been opened up to them, maybe in the liability only option. Now, having said that, underwriters are still going to reserve the right to underwrite on a case-by-case basis. So I might be 79 years old, flying a 182, I can get liability only. Well, maybe not if I've had 5 claims in the last 10 years type of things. So, but again, this is an option that was not available to us 12 months ago, that is now available to the marketplace now. We're happy to be able to find that option in addition to the other options that underwriters are providing, other underwriters are also providing in this segment.
Is Global requiring additional medical evaluations or flight reviews?
Not necessarily. So what they're doing is the way they're underwriting it is they're just taking the box down to basically the type of aircraft and the amount of coverage that they're putting out there, and that's why liability only is attractive to them. So basic med and annual flight checks are the types of things that underwriters will put in their underwriting package even on a 55-year-old pilot. And they'll continue to do that on the other pilots as well, but it's not necessarily a lot of fine print, if you will, that has to go into getting this option.
So if a senior pilot thinks that liability only insurance might be the right option for them and they want to get a quote, how do they contact Assured Partners Aerospace?
Yep, great question. So we have a couple of ways. You can contact us through our website. We have a link there that will get you in contact directly with our team. And then we have our 800 number. Pick up the phone and you can call us and we can talk through those options. So sometimes when you go through our website, there's an automatic quote button that you can get a quote back. Yep. And if by chance it comes back as a decline, then you can certainly pick up the phone, or we'll even reach back out to you, because we can go and say, okay, initially it was a declination. However, if you're interested, there might be another pathway here, liability only, for example. We can get additional information, go back to that underwriting community and see about getting you a quote. So today it is, one of the things that we do really well is we talk to our clients, much like Kollin, you and I are talking right now. Our special sauce is conversations. So pick up the phone and call us, we'll have that conversation with you. So Kollin, one of the things that we're doing is we're making a big investment in technology. So in the future, beginning in 2025, you'll have more ways to connect with us, even using your device here. That doesn't mean that you won't be able to pick up the phone and call us again, because what we like to do is we like to talk to our clients. But you'll have the option to be able to interact with us and to find some of these options that we're talking about online a little bit easier with a click of the button, but you'll also be able to pick up the phone and call us and talk to us about your particular situation. We love to hear pilot stories. We love to tell their story to the underwriting community, and that's really what we as brokers are designed to do.
Well, thank you very much, Eric, for giving us this deep dive on senior pilot liability-only insurance. I found it very informative, and I think our members will as well.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the partnership. Thank you.